between teachers and students. So we have one teacher, 6 kids, right? So it's much easier to do personalized one-on-one attention. And then we had that same army of therapists that could kind of come in and work with the kids and give them kind of that extra space if they need it. You know, take a moment to help them work through whatever issue they might be dealing with that day. And you got to understand, a lot of these kids, just as their home life has been traumatizing, often they're traumatized by the education system as well. Because, I mean, it's hard enough for, you know, your normal kid, right? You got all the pressure of keeping your grades up. All the teachers have different sets of expectations for you, right? And then you have the expectations put on you by your parents. Everybody's talking about what, getting into a good college, you got to maintain, you got to pick this field, you got to be good at this. Well, then imagine our kids. So our kids, they had to go home to an abuser, drug addiction. They were so busy floating from foster family to foster family, no stability. But then you add this pressure on top of it, and they lost any sense of love for learning. I mean, it's something we see over and over again. They are traumatized by the education system. That's where they went, and they felt stupid. They felt less than. And they saw all those other kids that had advantages that they didn't have. I have some incredibly smart kids. I mean, blow you away smart. I got one kid that can make an origami dragon this big, right, from a piece of instruction paper. I can't make heads or tails of. It's all dotted lines and weird scratch marks to me. But all of a sudden, he's working with it, boom, origami dragon. I mean, there's an intelligence there that if tapped into, this kid has incredible potential. And so, but what's going on? You talk to this kid, he's failing every class, you know, he tells you he doesn't know how to do math, but then he does the origami and you go, oh wow, yeah, no, he knows how to do math, right? There's math equations right there. I mean, it's some nuts stuff. And so the whole point of this, and really our school, is to try to reinvest them in learning, right? And so these are cool things. I mean, these are things that all kids love, you know, how stars move, you know, the things that really build and make the universe. That's stuff that's fascinating, but our kids are totally checked out. And so a big part of this project in particular is this is kind of our latest big attempt. This is our latest tool to try to re-engage them, because when they're out here, it doesn't feel like a classroom, right? This is a place that they built with me. So every single project we do, they're part of. They meet with the architects, they help design it, and so in doing that, they're learning math, they're learning engineering, and they're learning architecture, right? And then when we actually construct it and we have our raised beds and we're growing the food, they're learning about biology, they're learning about ecology, they're learning about how they fit into the universe and these kind of organic growing systems. And then we move into things like dendrology, because we planted an orchard all around the outside. We move into things like astrology because we're building a giant sundial right there. So they have to learn about how the sun moves across the sky and the fact that it has to point at the North Star Polaris and how the Earth has an axis and how it turns. And so, but when they're standing there with me and we're talking about that, well, that's unabstracting education, right? That's making it come alive. And it doesn't feel like what they're used to as school. They're not sitting in a classroom. I'm not saying open up to page 10, and I'm not saying there's a test that you might fail. And if you fail, it's your fault because you didn't pay attention, right? Out here, it's all about just that adventure and that exploration. So, and like I said, they build everything with me. I had a group of middle schoolers, and this board, now they kind of chalked over and there's a bunch of fun things, but we had a whole bunch of equations, just kind of basic geometry, right? These middle schoolers, they're struggling with division, but yet we were teaching them how to find the area and the perimeter of circles, right? And I just saw the teacher standing there, and he just was like, this was the first time there'd been a math lesson without an interruption in probably, I don't know, all year, all semester at least. And so, but it's because I could walk them then right over there and show them why it mattered. We're learning this math so we could build this, and if you don't learn the math, well then get used to hauling bricks and digging ditches all your life for somebody else, because you're not going to be able to do it on your own. Like, that math unlocks how to build these things. You don't waste your money, you don't waste your time, and you don't waste your resources, which are all precious things. And so, I don't know, kind of a fun job. I'm digging it. What you're walking into, where you were going to camp, except for, you know, the weather is kind of nasty. I don't want to do that to you. I don't know how many of you are into extreme camping. I like camping in the wintertime every now and again. You probably just got off a long trip, right?
Unequipped.
Yeah. You probably want someplace a little warmer. So we'll put you up in the gym. It's a lot nicer in there. There's bathrooms, there's a little kitchen, so you'll be pretty set up. Now, because this campus, we are working with kids that are dealing with a lot, and there is a lot of anger management issues, right? There is a chance that while you're here, you might see a kid kind of going through a hard time, right? They might be breaking things, they might be in a fight, they might be running. If that happens, what we ask, part of it's because of liability, and part of it is because everyone here is very specially trained. We go through intensive training. Let the staff deal with it, right? So I will come, somebody will come soon, and sometimes we just kind of let the kid get it out, as weird as that sounds. Not in a fight, but if they're breaking stuff, sometimes we go, okay, you know what, this is just something they got to do right now, and then we're going to process, and then we're going to fix it. They're going to help us fix it, you know, if that makes sense. So just let us deal with it. Let us kind of work with it. The other thing is we love people talking about Gillis and what we do here. We love you talking about our kids, but we feel that our kids have a right to privacy. Not everyone is going to want to have the world know that they came here, right? This is going to be something that it was part of their lives, and it's a chapter that they sort of want to keep hidden. And you can understand that, especially in Kansas City, people that know, you know, Gillis, about Gillis, it's the home for troubled youth, right? So if my kids want to keep that a secret, you know, that's their history, that's their story, that's their right. So we like you talking about it, but we ask that you don't use names. And we ask that if you take pictures, you don't take pictures of their faces, right? And part of that too, the rewards of the state, a lot of them. So there's a legality thing there. We can't take pictures of faces. Backs of heads, hands, anything that can't be identifying, that's totally okay. So, and we have some fun with that. We'll do mask making projects and parades and things like that. So our kids can still, you know, be in something, but their identity, you know, is still their own. So what I'd like to do is kind of show you some of what we have here, and then maybe take you on a brief tour of campus. And then I know that Dr. Shiva is talking pretty soon, right? It's 5:30? We have to be there.
There's a reception, yeah, there's a reception at 5:30 or so, and then we all need to meditate before we go over.
Oh, okay.
So we have that.
So we should probably, what time do you think?
Well, you know, we were thinking if we start meditating somewhere around 4:30, 5 o'clock, I don't know what time it is now, then we'll be done, you know, 5:30, 6 o'clock. We'd head over there a little late for the reception, maybe get there at 6 rather than 5:30.
Okay, sounds
Are we
good.
not going to bring any of our stuff in there?
Well, yeah, we're working on that right now.
Yeah,
so
we'll take
yeah,
a room, we'll lock it up in, and then after the thing, I'll come back with you guys.
Okay.
And then I'll have you set, because everything's locked.
And then Theo, we wanted to do some service work in exchange for your kindness. You know, and is there anything we might be able to do? And do we need to talk about that this evening before we, you know, all head over to Vandana Shiva and everything?
Yeah,
so
I think that's a good idea. We can kind of brainstorm some ideas.
Okay.
One of the things that we work with very much with the kids in the garden side, both on a therapeutic side and then also on an educational side, is kind of connections to the earth and the plants themselves, how we're all part of one ecology, one ecosystem, and the role of the farmer in a space like this as a steward, right? That they are part of this, right? That they are in a relationship with these plants. You help them grow and prosper, then they help you grow and prosper. And so I don't know if you guys have any ideas or thoughts on maybe how we could do something with you, because you're all part of a sustainability farming program.
Yeah, well, this is a course in permaculture. We have a 4-year degree program we call Sustainable Living, and farming's part of it, but so is city design and building and energy and, you know, the kind of philosophical roots of the sustainability movement, all that stuff is part of our program. So we do have agriculture as a part, but we're not specifically agriculture.
It's the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so there are some kids here probably really interested in agriculture, and some interested in energy, and some interested in buildings, and you know, yeah.
All right, very cool, very cool. Well, we're going to be actually putting in solar panels and wind turbines pretty soon. So
yeah, maybe, you know, we'd be happy to come down and help out with that. Maybe, I don't know, you know, or maybe we could build some. You know, we could do a workshop and your kids could build some.
Yeah.
Really cool. You know, they could build like solar cell phone chargers or something, or a small wind turbine that they could put up.
Yeah, so kind of as a future, not tomorrow. But
no, yeah. I'm just thinking, yeah. We wouldn't be able to do that tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, we got a great company locally called Duracom, and they work with these sustainable energy systems.
Oh, yeah.
They're hopefully going to donate.
Oh, cool.
Power.
Yeah.
So we're kind of negotiating them right now.
Yeah, cool.
And if not, I have some budget that I'm spending on it.
Yeah.
I think it's just, we can't turn that down.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, yeah, I would love to brainstorm then too on future stuff. I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is, that'd be really incredible. Before tomorrow, if you guys are down, we have our whole school will be in session, and then we'll have all of my cottage kids here because they live here and most of them go to school here. And so I'm thinking about bringing out some of our middle school classes and some of our grade school classes to work with you. And it could be as simple as just hanging out, if the weather is all right, hanging out in the garden site with them, and then just tending the plants and talking with them about plants and what you know, or just simple, just mentoring. I mean, you'd be amazed at how hungry they are for adult human interaction, right? Especially people that are this spectrum of age, right? You're the cool guys. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and most of you, I mean, are about the age that their parents would be if they were with their parents, right? So they look at you, and man, they want to know what's in your head. They want to know what makes your world tick, and they really want to see another way to kind of be. You know what I mean? So, if you guys are just down for that, it could be as simple as that. Yeah. Or, I mean, you were talking about the meditation. I'd like to talk more about that.
Yeah.
And kind of, but I was talking to, is it Jerry? No.
Jerry. Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry. Talking to Jerry about maybe getting somebody here to teach some of our therapy staff.
Yeah.
What is a big part of it.
Yeah, you know, there's an organization called the David Lynch Foundation, and this is exactly what they do. They go in, you know, they work with not just troubled kids, but, you know, all kids, but particularly effective with troubled kids, and, you know, they call it quiet time.
Okay.
And there's a whole program they have, and there's, you know, people who come in who are trained to teach meditation. None of us are really trained to teach meditation. You know, the meditation we do, and it takes it's a very simple thing, but it's very subtle, and so it takes somebody who's trained in giving you that good experience when you first start, and it doesn't. You know, we can talk more about that. But it's not something we could just kind of like, oh, let's do a meditation session.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So we went, but we, you know, like things like if you got a project that you could use 20 people on, you know, that kind of thing. But it sounds like just hanging out with the kids would be great. What do you guys think?
That's what we really need. Times at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
I mean, as far as maintaining the site, you'd be amazed how hardworking my boys are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty clean for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Except for little moments like forgetting to wash the brushes.
Yeah.